I was introduced to spicy food, I think I was like 5, and I obviously couldn't handle it. My mum was like, look, if you don't start eating spicy food now, like you're gonna miss out on a lot of foods when you're older. So my name is Ethan. I'm the founder here at UmamiPapi. My definition of UmamiPapi, umami is the Japanese word for flavorsome taste or deliciousness. Papi is a Spanish word for daddy. I can't take the credit, it's all because of my good friend, Alex. Everyone's familiar with Drake. His Instagram handle, for those that don't know, is Champagne Papi. When I was telling him about the chili oil that I just started, and I was telling him about, it's got this, it's got that, it's got umami, he was like, you should call yourself UmamiPapi. Yeah, from a very young age, I was like obsessed with spice. I loved chili, loved adding spice and chili to everything. And then when I got to about uni, I would have friends over and I was sick of just waiting to get chili oil from the Chinese takeout when you get, when you get like a roast duck or something and they give you the chili oil. I was sick of waiting for that moment to have chili oil. So I would start experimenting and start cooking, playing around with recipes in the early uni days. Took a lot of time to get to where it is now. A lot of bad batches that were too spicy, the texture was off, but eventually I got it to the point where it is today and I'm very happy with it. Not only is there chilies, we fry onions, we fry garlic, as well as shallots that add like a layer of texture, intertwined with the chilies and the seasonings, which are a bit more soft. And the combination of soft and crisp makes it even more of a delicious product. I remember making the jars and they didn't have any label. There was no chili logo and I was like, I should probably brand it somehow, like put something on it so that it's not just like a naked jar. So I opened up Microsoft Paint and I got a clip art image of a chili, opened up my phone, went to the emojis, got the cheeky winking emoji, the one that's like, you up, 2 a.m., that emoji. I was looking at my phone, I was trying to like draw the cheeky face on the chili, looked at it and I was like, it's good enough. I'm not gonna start a business. Just for a bit of fun, whatever. It was only until people's reviews would keep coming in and the orders would keep coming in every week. First year, I used to cook it from my old house in Waverley and the stoves were broken, so you needed a match to light. Range hood was falling apart and there was barely any space. So I was very confined in this little kitchen. I was like, I can't keep doing this cooking at home. Like it's taking me so much time. I need to find a way to produce more in the same amount of time or less. So that's when I started to look for a commercial kitchen and staff and registering the business as a company and getting an ACN and getting everything legit. At that point, I didn't really have a plan. I didn't have any structure. It was in my second year in 2021, things were becoming a bit more demanding and my performance at work was slipping. No longer working from home, we were back in the office, before and after work, having to do stuff for Umami while commuting to the office. It was tough. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe, this is my calling to leave and see how far I can really take UmamiPapi. So it started off as an online business. One day, I was walking up Victoria Street, which is where the kitchen used to be. And I was like, all right, I need to find like an Asian grocer to buy my ingredients, right? Saw this one decently sized mom and pop Asian grocer. And I was like, all right, this will be like the grocer that I'll start getting my ingredients from. Eventually the owner that was always serving me, he was like, oh, I've seen your face a lot more often now. Like, which restaurant do you work at? And I was like, oh, I don't have a restaurant. I run a chili oil business. And he's like, chili oil? My wife and I, we love chili oil. Like, could we have a sample, please? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I gave him a jar, exchanged some details. That night he messages me going, Ethan, that was the best chili oil I've ever had. We would love to stock it in our store. And I was like, what? And I got really excited. I was like, I can really get this on the shelves. I can, this opens up a whole new revenue channel and new way of exposing the brand. On the weekends after cooking, I would go and approach different stores around Melbourne with a backpack of jars. And I'd, ask them for feedback and sometimes they get a lot of rejections. You get a lot of people that don't want to talk to you and, well, it's too expensive. We've already got chili oils. Nah, it's not gonna sell, whatever. But then there's, a lot of stockists that are still with me today that gave me a chance and they started off with like 3 jars. There was no such thing as a minimum order quantity because I was desperate. I was like, yeah, take it, see how it goes. And yeah, that's how I started to build it, not only online, but in stores and on shelves. Seeing it on the shelf at Coles Local for the first time was pretty cool. You look at the price tag and the font that Coles uses, and you've seen that your whole life when you're going shopping. Seeing that and seeing the new packaging in the jar, it made it feel like a legit product. And that was pretty cool. The long-term plan really is to probably set up distribution internationally. The real challenge would be scaling up and figuring out how we're going to produce it, how we're going to keep up with everything, because that has always been one thing that has been critical to our growth, is being able to keep up with the orders and being able to figure out how do we produce more efficiently in less time. But above all of that, the most important thing is how do I keep it so that the quality remains the same. Worst case scenario would be scaling up, massively and the product's not the same. I may not be, changing people's lives the way other companies do for philanthropic reasons, but I think I'm improving the way people enjoy their meals, and I think that on its own is quite special, and I'm very grateful. As cool as this all is, there's plenty of others out there building their businesses just like how I am. If you're keen to start your journey, head to the Foundr platform today.